4. The phase old age. Life is not forever long. It starts and eventually comes to a stop. It doesn't mean end, it's the beginning for a new life. But right before the time to start a new journey, the phase of life where we live, with a lot of experience, is known as old age. If there is anyone who gives us the most useful advice and can guide us to the correct path that we would have probably met, is surely an elder person, isn't it? Age is just a number, but as they say, to gain something we have to pay. Old age is the same. They gain experience and knowledge through time. But they have to pay through losing young time and slowly becoming weak through body. The old are said to be very talented because they constantly try to update themselves as the world changes. A senior person has probably seen almost 3 generations in his whole life, and just think that how much they must have changed themselves to fit in. We all must have heard that. The older, the better, the wiser. That saying actually defines the seniors. They are the wisest person, and the most of us know and even acknowledge the fact that we have to bow to their knowledge and experience. This is the time when most of the people have seen all the colors of life. Maybe some have come with lots of hardships throughout their lives, and some with their own kind of story to say. Old age is that type of time, when you have seen each and every type of season, people, time, and now being ready to go to a new journey. Time is not equal for everyone. Even though they have lived their life, there are lots of things that they surely do regret. They have their own problems and their own struggles. Even here, not everyone has a great life. Most of the old person have struggled so much to have a family. But sometimes when maybe their hard work didn't bear a fruit, or maybe their teachings weren't good enough, their own children don't try to understand them and end up abandoning their parents. The time when the children should take care of their parents, they leave them alone, and the old people end up in orphanage. When those who abandon their parents, maybe the old people should have abandoned the children when they were kids, but it is not possible for everyone. Have you ever felt like you are stuck in a loop, a never-ending circle? If your answer is no, that means you are actually wrong. But if you say yes, then that means you have a knowledge of life. How? Well, we pretty much live in a loop. The old age and childhood is not so different. We are curious about a lot of things in childhood and in old age as well. We don't care about much things and just want to live our lives in childhood and in old age as well. And there is a lot more things. That makes a childhood and old age very much similar. As said before, old age is only a number, and it is proved by many people in this world. Being old doesn't mean that they can't do anything by themselves, or they need some kind of stick to walk. It means the time when their hard work and the things that they did throughout their life comes to give them what they were meant to get. But as said before, time in life can be unpredictable. Rather than thinking about what has already happened, go on ahead, thinking of what life keeps ahead for us. Old people don't do much things. Doesn't mean that they cannot do much. All who are young, they do have the energy and all, but the true power of experience and eye to see the nature of what is correct and wrong is only possessed by old, because old is gold. Life is lived only once, so live as you want, but having in mind, after death the only ones that will remember you are those who you have given something to remember for life, even if small or big. Respect.
Story of old couple's hard life. There was a middle-class couple who were kind and smart people. Their name was Peter and Caterine, but the only thing that they didn't have was money. They had a son who was good at studying. His name was Nickel. After his school, when he had 2 options in his hand, going to work and helping his father or go to college for further education, Peter and Caterine didn't want him to go to work, and even though they were going through many problems, they decided to let him gain education and lead a good life. Going on through many problems, they made Nickel what he wanted to become. After some years, their life changed. They were able to gain a proper life and obtain whatever they wanted. Then Nickel introduced his girlfriend to his parents. She was a beautiful girl, but something was not right about her. After some time, she started to brainwash him against his parents. Nickel started feeling awkward whenever he was sighted with his parents outside the house. One day, Nickel said he feels like they don't have same type of class. They look poor and all. Peter and Caterine were shocked to hear this. Not long after, Nickel said his parents to not come out from the house no matter what. After some time, Nickel married his girlfriend. That was the last time when Peter and Caterine were happy. Nickel's wife started to ill-treat them, but showed as if they were the one who ill-treated her. Nickel would misbehave to his parents and talk a lot of bad things. Then, with all the insults and hard way of life, Peter and Caterine planned to take their life. But that same time when they both were crying in their room, remembering of what all they had gone through in their life, Nickel came to their room with a happy face but crying the same time and said that he was going to be a father. Hearing this, they both thought of dropping the plan, because they didn't want to ruin Nickel's best time of life. They both endured all the insult and abuse from their own child and still prayed for his happiness. Then one day, Nickel's wife came crying to him and said that Caterine was trying to give abortion pills to her rather than giving the normal medicines. That day was truly a big problem. The whole day, Caterine was trying to say that she was innocent, but Nickel didn't believe it all. Caterine was crying and said, Peter, that she doesn't know anything about this. Peter said he believes in her, but maybe their own son doesn't. After that, Nickel became a father and had a son now. With time, when his son was about 3 years old, Peter and Caterine already tried to kill themselves about 5 to 6 times, but all the time seeing their grandson's face some way they would not do so. They still were hearing a lot of insults and being abused. One day when Nickel was at a trip for work, his wife had video called him, and after some time of talk, she ended the call and started to talk to someone on landline, leaving the phone near her son. Nickel's son played around with the phone and somehow started a video call to Nickel. Nickel attended the call and saw his wife talking to someone on landline and heard the whole conversation. The day when Nickel returned to his house, he didn't talk a bit to his wife and hurried to his parents, fell to the foot of his parents and cried, begged for forgiveness. After some time, when he calmed down, his parents asked him the reason. He said he will explain everything once he finishes his work, cried for a bit, and left the house with his wife. When they were going somewhere in their car, Nickel asked his wife to sign on a paper. When she asked what this paper was, he said just sign, and she did because he was looking angry. And when they reached the place, it was court, and then Nickel said that I am divorcing you. Go and live with Jefferson. She was shocked, as if that name was very sensitive for her. Nickel took the divorce and went to his house to explain everything to his parents. He said to his parents that when he was on trip, his son somehow called him. He saw his wife talking to someone on landline, saying, "Don't worry, Jefferson, I will soon take all his possession and come back to you," she said. Why did call on landline and started laughing, hearing something that person on landline said, and she said, I brainwashed him totally. Now he is fully under my control, and said, do you remember that when she tried to take an abortion pill, but suddenly Nickel saw her, so she acted as if Caterine was the one who gave it to her, and again started to laugh hard. After that, what he heard was the worst part. She said that Nickel cried and even got excited for the child who was not even his own, and started laughing, and then said, even though those old hags knew everything, they didn't say anything to him and even took all that insults for their son's happiness. What a waste. That hurt Nickel a lot, and then he thought what Peter and Caterine must have gone through. He cried a lot and said to his parents that he is ashamed of himself. Peter said, we can't forgive you for what you did to us, but maybe now you can take a new and correct path in life. Caterine said, we never felt ashamed of raising you. We never felt ashamed of taking you, wherever. You said, we never felt ashamed to tell people that you are our son, but you. Peter said, we are old, but that doesn't mean we couldn't live life alone. We just didn't want to leave you. After that, Nickel vowed to give them both a life that they deserved. He adopted his ex-wife's son as his ex, and that guy were not able to raise him. And he also met a person who actually respected his parents. Being old or being not the same as you doesn't make the old different. The thing that makes the difference is your way of thinking. Never feel ashamed on old parents because they are the ones who made you what you are.